Hello, I'm Elgato and welcome back to the Minecraft 1.13 Aquatic video. So the 1.13 Aquatic is now out for Minecraft Bedrock in its entirety. It'll be soon out for Java and for the console editions, and one of the things that will be coming out for all three of these versions is a brand new, very confusing item. That's right, in this update they've introduced the most confusingly bizarre item, the Arrow of the Totem Master, and although the reason they introduced it, you can maybe deduce, the actual use for it is something that is very, very hard to come up with, and I think in today's video, why not talk about just why the Arrow of the Totem Master is one of the most useless items, if not the most useless item that exists in Minecraft. That's right, we're talking gravel levels of useless, and hopefully you do all enjoy this kind of exploration into how they're made, and then also why you'll never make them in Minecraft Survival ever. So with that said, let's get straight into the video, and let's start by talking about how and why these arrows exist. So basically, as of Minecraft 1.9 and onwards, obviously speaking, one of the things that exists in the game is the ability to make arrows with tipped potion heads. So if you want to have healing arrows, if you want to have harming arrows, if you want to have any type of arrow, you can put that effect on a potion head. It's often weaker than the normal one to compensate for the fact that you can fire it with a bow, but you can fire potion arrows, as you can see from this effect right here. So obviously, when they introduced the potion of the Totem Master, which is a potion which has some use in Minecraft, again, I think it's a kind of niche potion by itself, you can then put that potion on your arrows by dunking the arrows, or by dunking the potion into a cauldron, then by dunking your arrows into the cauldron too. So as you can see, I've now made some arrows off the Totem Master, but the big question comes into why would I ever want to do that? And again, at first you're like, well, I mean, clearly, right? Because sometimes if you ever want to use this potion effect as a potion, you might want to use it in arrows, except no, not with this particular one. So the biggest example where you might want to use this for an effect that's vaguely positive, like the Arrow of the Totem Master, is for hitting yourself. Except, when would you ever want to hit yourself? Because bear in mind, oh, that's a weird glitch, but bear in mind that although sometimes hitting yourself with, say, 30 seconds of regeneration might be useful, hitting yourselves with 30 seconds of slowness might genuinely be useful, whereas if you hit yourself with these arrows, you can hit yourself with, I believe it's 2 and sometimes 5 seconds of the effect. So you get 2 seconds of resistance, you get 2 seconds of, like slowness, but is that effect really enough to make it worthwhile? I would say probably not, right? Because 2 seconds, I'm going to show you, like, I'm not exaggerating here, it is literally 2 seconds of slowness. Like, you don't even notice it. You didn't notice on the screen right there. And 2 seconds of resistance free. How many attacks is that going to negate? Like 1, maybe 2. And the fact that you're hitting yourself to begin with, bear in mind, I'm taking damage from this initial hit. Not much because I'm wearing full armor. But the fact that you take damage from the initial hit anyway raises the question of, like, why are you willing to take damage to have the resistance? And is it worth the 2 seconds of slowness? Probably not anyway. So yeah, they're effectively resistance arrows that only work for 2 seconds, so are effectively useless. The most powerful form you can get is obviously either resistance free for 5 seconds or resistance 4 for 2 seconds, but I really don't see that being useful even in those extremes, so it's not useful for hitting yourself. So then you might say, okay, so we've got these arrows, right, and they're really not useful for hitting yourself with, but arrows are really good for hitting other players with, except hitting other players, when would you want to use these arrows instead of, let's say, you want to use a splash potion, so you grab one of these, you could throw this at them, they'll have 30 seconds of slowness, 30 seconds of resistance, so again, we're just going to pretend this body of water right here. In fact, is there any gravel around here? I'd love to, let's just pretend for now. That sugarcane right there, that's the enemy that you really want to, slow down, and you want to make them resistant, because, you don't care about that, you just want to slow them down. Well, you throw that at them, that gives them 30 seconds of slowness. They're never going to catch you, and then you might say, well, I mean, sometimes you need to do it from a bow, because you need to hit them as well, and maybe you want to do some damage. But again, if you want to do damage, don't give them the resistance effect, because if you give them resistance, you're negating a lot of the damage you're doing, and even if you did want to do slowness that badly, bear in mind, we have arrows of slowness already. We have arrows that do 30 seconds of slowness, and yes, it's only 15% slowness versus 60%, but 60% slowness for 5 seconds is actually less than 15% slowness for 30 seconds. Same with, 90% for 2 seconds. You get more slowness effect by using the arrows of slowness, so you'd never want to use the Potion Master arrows on another person to slow them down. You'd only ever use it to give them resistance because you wanted to hit them more before you killed them, maybe. Again, you're starting to sound like a, a serial killer right here, and I guess in Minecraft we're all serial killers, but you get the point. They're like, okay, so you don't want to use them on yourself, you don't want to use them on other players, but there's a third use case in Minecraft, Toycat. I'm ashamed of you for not thinking about it, as the, person who plays so much survival, like some of the most on YouTube. You probably should know about the fact that you can use potions on mobs too, and that's where this one shines, right? So let's spawn in some creepers. There's some daylight mobs, so it's a great example. Okay, we've got some creepers. They're on my tail right here, and oh my god, it's so scary. You know what would be really useful? If I had some arrows off the Turtle Master, except, again, no one actually thinks that. I'm super scared of activating these, so let's grab some right now, and let's show you that, like, okay, I've got these arrows. They give me 5 seconds of slowness on a creeper. This is what it actually looks like. As you can see, they're slowed down, and it looks like you've subdued them, but for 5 seconds. And that's the most powerful, or the lengthiest version you can get. And during that time, you can't attack them, which admittedly, you know, creepers, like, if you need to slow them down as opposed to killing them, maybe not so useful. And it looks kind of cool, so maybe that's a part of it. You just like the slow motion effect. But I mean, realistically, is this a thing you really want? The only situation I can think of is like, if you want to knock them back and make them, if you knock them out a whole bunch of times, you can see how like, okay, yeah, now the creeper will eventually, I can knock it, oh, I killed him. But you can knock back the creeper to a range where he stops following you. Maybe that's the use. But again, that's a really, really, really niche case use against one particular mob. With most mobs, you want to kill them using your sword. Wasting even regular arrows on mobs is, you know, debatably wasteful. Let alone wasting arrows you have to put a potion effect on. A potion effect which, by the way, requires a skew, like, which is kind of tricky to come by. Not the easiest thing in the game. And therefore, it just raises the simple question of why do these arrows exist in Minecraft? What is their use? And this whole video actually is a little bit of a challenge to you, the viewer. What is the use that you can find from these? I really want to like lay that challenge out there to you because I can't see a single use where you'd use these as opposed to either the potion form or as opposed to the slowness arrows. If you can come up with one, I'd love to hear it. But let's talk about why they're actually in the game then, because you might hear this video and be like, ha ha ha, Mojang's so silly, add something to a game without use. That ain't so smart. And I don't know why that's the voice I gave to you if you said that, but you know, you might question, why even put them in the game if they have literally 0 to like 0.0001 use on a scale of 0 to 100? And the simple answer to that question is because it would be weirder not to have them. So every single potion effect in Minecraft can be turned into a splash potion, into a lingering potion. Every single splash potion can be turned into arrows using a cauldron. I know it's different on the Java. You have to use lingering potions, and there's a weird recipe. But for now, you know, that's how you make. You can turn any potion effect into arrows, and it would be weird not to have them. Even though there's no use the Mojang developers could come up with, the Minecraft developers, I guess I was trying to say, but there's no use they could come up with. There's no use the Minecraft Bedrock team, I'm sure, could come up with, because the potion itself, it's already kind of weird in potion form, let alone when you turn it into a splash potion. But that's not really the point. The point is just to have it there, and some minigame somewhere, some person somewhere might be able to take advantage of it. If you wanted to remove this, it would literally be more effort. It'd be weirder almost if there wasn't a potion. And yeah, I think there's something about Minecraft being complete and adding all these things that is kind of beautiful, because in the far, far future, like we're talking like 5 updates from now, 10 updates from now, 15 updates from now, in the years of 2026, where I'm talking about 1.58 and the really exciting space update with unicorns and zebra gorillas, because we'll invent new species enough by then. But when I'm talking about the exciting days of 1.58, maybe it'll be like, aha, the zebra feces, you can throw it at creepers, and then you give them the resistance effect, and because the zebra feces reverses all effects, that makes them weaker, and they're a little bit more susceptible. You use that on other players, and boom, you can go in for the kill. Maybe there's some far future use for them, and I'm kind of down with Minecraft having stuff like that. Not everything needs to have a use now, and the arrows of the Totem Master kind of fit into that category of like, let's just have something silly. It's just about, it doesn't need to make sense now. It might make sense in the future, and even if it doesn't, it's still kind of a cool thing to experiment with. And Minecraft being filled with things to experiment with is a good thing for the game. I think having, because it's such a rare item you won't find naturally in survival too often, I think it's fine that it exists, but that's my opinion. Let me know in the comments down below. 1, if you like useless items existing, and 2, if you, if you have like any particular thoughts about where this might be useful, because again, I can see literally zero purpose. Like, I mean, what am I going to do? Am I going to go fishing for salmon by hitting them? Like, now I've got to slow down salmon. What does that do for me? Nothing is the answer to all of these questions. But yeah, I'd love to hear what you think. Oh, this is, okay, yeah, let me know what you think. Comments down below. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all in the next one. I'm trying to keep the videos deliberately under 10 minutes, because otherwise people say, oh, you're only talking for the sake of talking. No, I like to talk a lot because it means you can get more information out there. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.